Welcome to this in-depth look at Heroes by Robert Cormier, a novel that questions the meaning of heroism, guilt, and redemption. First published in 1998, Heroes is a gripping exploration of trauma, war, and moral ambiguity. But what makes a hero? And can someone who was once admired become the very thing they once fought against? Let's dive into the story and themes of this powerful novel. Our protagonist, Francis Cassavant, returns home to Frenchtown, Massachusetts after World War II, but he is not the same. His face has been horrifically disfigured by a grenade explosion, and he wears a silk scarf to cover his injuries. But Francis hasn't come home to be celebrated as a war hero. He has come back with one purpose: to kill Larry LaSalle, a man he once admired. Through flashbacks, we learn about Francis's life before the war. As a boy, he was quiet and insecure, finding a sense of belonging at the rec center, a community space run by Larry LaSalle. Larry was charming, talented, and admired by all, including Nicole, Renard, the girl Francis secretly loved. But things changed forever when Larry betrayed their trust, assaulting Nicole while Francis stood helplessly outside the door. That night shattered everything: Francis's belief in heroes, his sense of self, and his future with Nicole. Overcome with guilt, Francis enlisted in the army, hoping to escape his past. During the war, he performed a so-called heroic act, throwing himself onto a grenade to save his fellow soldiers. But Francis doesn't see himself as a hero. He believes his actions were driven by self-destruction, not bravery. Now back in Frenchtown, his only mission is revenge. When Francis finally tracks down Larry LaSalle, he expects a confrontation, but instead Larry admits everything: his betrayal, his manipulation, and his belief that life is divided into heroes and villains. Instead of defending himself, Larry takes his own life before Francis can act. Francis then visits Nicole, hoping for closure. Their meeting is strained. She is still deeply affected by her trauma, and their relationship has been irreversibly damaged. However, Nicole encourages Francis to find a purpose beyond revenge. The novel ends on an uncertain note. Francis is left wondering if he can ever move forward and if redemption is even possible. So what is Heroes really about? Let's break down its key themes. First, the novel challenges the idea of heroism. Francis is called a war hero, but he rejects the label. Larry, once celebrated, turns out to be a predator. The book asks us to question who we call heroes and whether heroism is defined by actions or intentions. Next, we see the power of guilt and responsibility. Francis is haunted by the past, believing he failed Nicole. His guilt drives his decisions, even leading him to enlist in the war. The novel explores how guilt can consume us and define our identity. The story also explores war and its consequences. Francis returns physically scarred, a reminder that war does not simply create heroes, it destroys people. The book suggests that violence and suffering leave lasting wounds, both seen and unseen. Another key theme is innocence and betrayal. Larry represents the ultimate betrayal, a trusted mentor who abuses his power. The rec center, once a safe haven, becomes the site of trauma. The novel forces us to ask how we reconcile good and evil in the same person. Finally, the book asks, can we ever move on from the past? Throughout the novel, Francis defines himself by revenge and regret. By the end, Nicole urges him to move forward, but whether he can is left unanswered. The novel leaves us wondering, how do we heal when the past feels impossible to escape? Heroes is more than just a war novel. It is a story about human nature, morality, and redemption. Through Francis's journey, Robert Cormier forces us to question what makes a hero and whether the past can ever truly be left behind. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like and subscribe for more literary insights.